My name is James Williams Jr. This is Kung Fu Havoc number 2. This is my last video for a little bit because I have to post these things now. I want to talk to you guys about the xenophobia that's been hitting America and specifically people of color. Now, I use xenophobia as a term that technically is not the right term that I should be using because I didn't really want to just call it what it is. It's blatantly racism. Alright, so first let me read y'all what xenophobia means. Xenophobia is the fear and distrust of that in which perceives to be foreign or strange. Xenophobia can be manifest itself in many ways involving the relationships of perceptions of in a group of people towards an outgroup, including the fear of losing identity, suspicions of its activities, aggressions, and desires to emulate and persuade to secure a presumed purity. Xenophobia in politics is a term that is recognized as metaphobia. Xenophobia can also be exhibited in a form of uncritical, I don't know what the hell this word is, of another culture. So I'm going to spell that word out. EXA, exaltation. Of course. Mass Effect fan, I should know what that word means. In which a culture is ascribed in unreal stereotypes and exotic qualities. The terms xenophobia and racism are sometimes confused and use INTER interchangeably because people who share national origins may also belong to the same race. Due to this, xenophobia usually is disgusted by the opposition of a foreign culture. Alright, so now y'all know what xenophobia means. So let me explain why I'm using it so that I don't just go out and say racism. Because technically xenophobia is a form of racism. Alright, so we can go back to the Starbucks, wherever that happened at with black people. We can go to the more recent event of the black children at graduation being danced off, and even the more recent event of the lady who had called the police on a college student who was sleeping in the common room, and need I go on. The xenophobia that is attacking America by fellow Americans on other Americans of different cultures or ethnic backgrounds is a load of bullshit that really has to stop. Apparently, we don't seem to understand that everyone in America really owes a great debt to the people who were here first. Their inability to be xenophobes is why the cultural deformation of America exists right now. Because a lot of Native Americans didn't fear the Europeans when they got here. They kind of embraced them, and in embracing a lot of that shit, everybody got fucked. Next thing you know, there was slavery. Next thing you know, after that, there became the rights to vote and not vote, and then there became gender equality or disquality, depending on what side of the gender track that you're on, and leading up to the modern day xenophobes of, oh, you can't drink coffee here. You can't wait here because your ass is colored. Let me call the police. Oh, you can't sleep in a dormitory in which you are a college student in a common room. Oh, you can't dance at graduation because of the color of your skin. So in that term, I'm using xenophobia so that I don't go out and call the whole goddamn thing racism. Alright? And for the college kids, they did remove a Spanish boy and they did remove an Asian girl. Alright? But they removed the majority of black children and not white children dancing. And for the young white lady who called, or the old white lady who called the cops on the young black college student who lives in the same building but fell asleep in the common area, shame on you. You know, here's the thing. And I don't want anybody who's a Trump supporter to tell me I'm wrong about this, because I live in Charlottesville, Virginia, and Trump didn't have anything to do with that, but he didn't address the thing properly. Or maybe he did, but he did it in the wrong political aspect of saying both sides, which technically he might have been right. And I'm only saying that because I live here in Charlottesville, and before this alt-right bullshit came up, we were warned a week in advance. Maybe not at the university, but the city of Charlottesville was told that this shit was going to happen, and dude had the right to protest, and they insisted that we all stayed away. The unfortunate side effect of you insisting that people should stay away generally is an open invitation for people to fucking do the exact opposite. That has nothing to do with xenophobia. That has something to just do with pure out stupidity that cost the life of 3 people. Now moving back to the subject of the young lady having the cops called on her for falling asleep in the common area. You know, these things don't need to continue to happen. I don't understand how me being a person of Cherokee descent and black descent and white descent can't seem to point this out to you people that there here in America, most of the reasons why everybody has everything is because some of my ancestors bled and died for people to have it. Why do we hate each other? Because of the color of our skin. The one genetic flaw that no one on earth can change. You can have $1 million and take all the melanin and the pigment out of your skin, and genetically, it still will make you who the hell you are. Because when you produce a baby, what you see outside isn't what's going to pop out when the baby is born. If you're genetically black, or white, or Asian, or multicultural like me, your baby is going to have some of your traits. Now, if you've seen my mom can pass for a white person because she has white ancestry. And if she has white ancestry, guess what, asshats? So do I. One of her parents or grandparents was a white person, which is why Premium Blend can pass for a white person and who I've lost in Scottsville on more than one fucking occasion. Now, my father's father was black. His mother and her mother before her were Native American. So I have strong Native American features because we're part Native American. My dad only had strong black features, but they say when he was younger he was a lot lighter and that he darkened up with age. So that's something to look forward to, being that my true color is right here. So, xenophobia, racism, one and the same. Tiny bit of difference, but not really. Mass Effect Trilogy used xenophobia as a form of racism, and there's a Turian, I forgot his name, but he's on the ice planet, and he says, oh, the xenophobe, the person who's afraid of other people because of their races. And here's my thing on that. You know, if you're a xenophobe, that's fine. But you know, there's a time and a place to practice your fears and your animosities and things. And public is not that place. Now, if you're afraid of someone because of the color of their skin, here's a tip. Maybe you ought to get more friends of different ethnic backgrounds and cultures so that you cannot be afraid and know that we all bleed red, we all have the same fears and doubts, and we all don't want to stink when we don't wash, but if you don't wash your ass, it's going to smell. And even if you wash your ass, if you pass gas, it's still going to smell. So, that being said, where am I going with this? Xenophobia? Racism? This is where I'm going with this. Stop it. Stop it right now. All of you. And don't think that there aren't no xenophobes that are of color too. Because it is. There are plenty of xenophobes that are colored that just all out hate white people. You know, and you shouldn't do that. So let me break it down for you. No one on earth has the right to hate people because of something that their ancestors did. It's not them. Deal with it. But if the person that you bump into is just an ass, okay, hate them for being an ass. Don't hate them and other innocent people for the color of their skin. And if you've had a bad experience with whites, blacks, or Asians, you can't take it out on every other person that is white, black, or Asian because of your one bad experience with that one person that made our ethnicities look horrible. I can't hate white people for slavery because some of those white people that may have been slave owners may have been how the fuck my people got here. I can't hate Native Americans for turning over the land because my family came from some of those Native Americans that probably just figured that it's better to surrender than catch a bullet to my skull because bow and arrows versus gunpowder and rocks that come out of the barrel that fly at a high speed that kills you quicker than a bow and arrow does is a big damn difference. And for some of those people on the white side of my family that shot those muskets into my Native Americans and my black ancestors, hey, I can't fault you for y'all excessive need to possess dominance. But what race doesn't have an excessive need to possess dominance? See, when we all understand that we are all in this together, and no one can really establish dominance, because dominance always tends to be taken from someone. At some time, at some place, at some point, someone will be more dominant than the dominant motherfucker at the top of the food chain. Once we establish that we have an equal line and equal playing field, and stop trying to establish dominance, but let's try to establish communication, cooperation, and more importantly, a decent line of what's right and what's wrong, then maybe we can all get along and have a good, decent life. And for all you xenophobes that are calling people because of the color of their skin and having them arrested or whatever, shame on you. I'm James Williams Jr. I am not a xenophobe. I'm also not a racist because I don't have the right to be one, because I'm multicultural. Maybe you guys ought to take a lesson here. Let this be your final lesson as I close out. If you are white or black or Asian and you don't have friends who are not the same as you, then you need to go and meet people who are different from you. Learn their cultures, learn their beliefs, and learn their traditions. I am not saying that you have to join an Asian cult or an Asian club to learn their culture. Just ask them. I'm not saying that you have to join a black gang or a crew member or stuff like that to find out how they are. And I'm saying, yo, tip your head to the side and walk and grab your dick all the time and live in the black stereotype of being gangster. No, some of us actually don't live like that. Some of us actually are decent people. Some of us are actually lawyers and doctors. And that goes to every ethnicity. So here's my point. Get to know people. Learn their cultures. Respect their cultures. Accept and embrace their cultures so that they can do the same to you. And this way, there will be peace amongst humankind. We're all human. If I cut my arm right now, red blood will gush out. If you cut your arm right now, red blood will gush out. If we both cut our throats at the same time, we'll probably all die. Because without air, and without the ability to take it in, you're going to die. So if we all live, breathe, and eat, and sleep, and die the same damn way, why can't we just take all that out and live in peace? Because some asshole has a raw hair up their ass, and they don't want to pull it out. They want to make someone else pull it out instead of doing the job themselves. Well, here's a razor. Shave your own ass. And when that raw hair comes out, get some tweezers and just pull that bitch. Problem solved. So let's try and make the world a peaceful place. If not a better place, at least a peaceful place. I'm James Williams Jr. This is Comfort Hour number 2. Stop all the bullshit. Be seeing you. If you're a kid, you probably shouldn't be watching this.